Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. Now I've downscaled my quality of video right here because I'm not shooting on my main DSLR. Because I need it for this video. So I'm shooting on a little point and shoot crappy audio. Hear the echo? No microphone plugged in, just the internal mic, so please excuse the crappy audio. So in today's video I want to talk about storage. Now for this camera and my old 500D right here, it takes something as simple and universal as one of these. An SD card, a secure disk card. Not a SanDisk card, a secure disk. Secure digital disk. But with me now moving to my 5D Mark II, which while is technically a newer camera, I've had to move to one of these. This is a CF card, a compact flash. So I've gone from something as small and as universal as that to something as big as this. Now I never really fill up a lot of space on my cards unless I'm on a big heavy shoot where I'll need multiple cards. So a lot of the time if I am just out taking pictures with family or if I'm just out filming for this, one card will do me perfectly well, especially if it's over about 32 gigs. I never usually go over 32 gigs anyway. I think that's the most I've ever gone to on a solo project for YouTube. So what is the actual difference apart from the size? I mean, if you have just a look at the size difference between the SD card and the CF card, the compact flash card, there's quite, even in the fatness of it, there's quite a considerable amount of size difference. And another thing is that these are a lot more expensive. For the price of this 16GB one, you could probably get a 2 or 3GB CF card. This one in particular is about £25. So while yeah, that's still inexpensive, that's still a lot more than this, considering you can pick this up for about £10 in the UK. But what you need to understand is the fact that this is a dedicated media card in a way. While yes, it's bigger, it's more expensive, but it is designed specifically for this kind of camera. So while yes, okay, fair enough, this has 20 megapixels and the 500D, and this have about 15, 16 megapixels. The sensor on the 5D is bigger. There is a lot more information coming from the 5D. So it needs something that can handle that kind of thing. And a CF card can handle that kind of speed that it needs. I have taken the same shot on both cameras at night, and the 5D, while only a year younger than the 500D, processed said information a lot quicker. It was a 30-second long exposure set at the same aperture, the same ISO, the same, everything was the same, and it processed the information on this card a lot quicker than the 500D. And that's mainly because of one thing. This is just a SD card. There's no real chip in here. While yes, there is a memory chip in there, there's no real processors, whereas this actually has a motherboard technically, which looks roughly like this. This isn't a CF card, this is a SSD, a solid state drive, which I used to use but I no longer need, so I took it apart. So there are a number of things on this card. Now please do imagine that this is the same as this, because they basically work in the same way in lots of different aspects. So on this side of the motherboard, you obviously have, well, the motherboard. You also have right here, this little square is the actual memory chip. So this is a 32GB SSD or solid state drive because it is solid. Then if we turn it over, we have more room for more memory chips. We also have a CPU, and I'm not really sure about what that other chip is personally anyway, so if there is someone that knows, then please do tell me. But we also have a connector here, which is a SATA 2 2.5-inch connector, so which is pretty good. I mean, this has got, as I said, this has only got 30 gigs, which I filled up and then emptied in a few days because I backed everything up afterwards. But this kind of works like a mini computer, keeping your information and data safe on the card. Now, this did at one point look like this. This is a bigger version of this. This is a 60GB SSD, again, solid state drive. This is something that I use for quick access. I've got a dock that's just down there that plugs straight into my iPad, and I can back stuff up on the go. So this is where I store most of my data, and then it goes onto my hard drive, which stays at home. Now, because obviously cards do fail, they just do. Sometimes they're too old, sometimes they've got wet, or they've got dust in them, or anything can happen. So cards can fail. These can fail. They're not perfect. The same with these SD cards, they're not perfect. And because of how inexpensive these are and how expensive these are, I kind of put this into this. Now you're probably thinking, how can you put that little thing into that when there's no... Now I went onto Amazon and I bought one of these. This is a SD card to CF card adapter. So now all I have to do is get this adapter, get an SD card, put the SD card, when I can see it properly, into the adapter, and then reach for my camera and put it into my camera. Format the card and it works. It just works. And there has been a time recently where a card failed on me. It's one of the reasons why I'm making this video. Because I had two of these originally. I had this one and I had another one, and it failed. And I didn't have this one with me. I'd left it here by mistake. But luckily I had my adapter with me that I was testing out anyway. So I just ding, swung in an SD card and away I went. So SD card kind of came to my rescue. Then I managed to get the pictures and video that I needed for my client. And another problem with these is because of how old they are, adapters now are really hard to come by. I don't even have one myself. So I have to manually plug my actual camera into a device like my iPad, which then means my camera is out of action and I could miss a shot. So that's a bit of a bummer really, to be fair, and kind of where the SD to CF card adapter actually comes in, because getting one of these SD card adapters, they're about 10 quid and I've had about 4 of them. That one goes to my phone. So yeah, they're cheap, they're cheerful, and it does the job. So I think in the future I'm going to buy more of these and maybe one more of these, because I don't really need the speeds of this one at the moment, and then if I do I'll just use this card. But I hate CF cards, they're just a pain in the bum. Ugh. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me in this one, and I hope to see you in the next one where my audio should be better. I promise.